The last night in Barcelona, we got a hotel room that overlooked this road called Las Ramblas. And it's basically a pedestrian road where it's just a lot of stuff going on. Okay? A lot of people walking and tourists and shops and little restaurants and stuff. And we got, this high balcony that overlooks this street. Because we kind of wanted like the cliched Spanish plaza kind of thing. Okay. Well, at one point, Annie and I are sitting out there, and I look down and there, there's tons of people walking all back and forth, there's shops and this, and I see this guy down there in the middle, standing right in the middle of the road. Now it's a pedestrian road, so there's just a lot of people moving, but this guy is standing right in the middle. He's by himself, and he's just kind of sauntering. Just in a general area, sauntering. Okay, well, maybe he's waiting for somebody. Annie and I are having a conversation, and we don't pay much mind, but my radar goes off. I start watching this cat. And I watch him for a while, like 20, 25 minutes. He's still just kind of like, do-do-do. He's not talking to anybody. Like, oh, let's go. And now I know that most big cities, regardless of where they are in the world, pickpockets is one of the most common things you got to watch out for. So I'm watching this cat, and I'm like, if he's a pickpocket, he's terrible. He's not even getting close to people. He's just sauntering. What the hell's he doing? It doesn't make any sense. Maybe he's waiting for somebody. Well, eventually somebody comes up and talks to him. Oh, that must be his buddy. So, okay, I watch them. And then the two of them kind of split up a little bit, and they start sauntering in different sections of the road. And that's what I thought, Jake. They're looking for somebody to do something with. Now, in my brain, of course, how I am, I'm like, okay, they're either pickpockets, they're selling drugs, they're trafficking, like there's any number of things this could be. So I start watching them. And then I see another guy down here to the left doing the same thing. And then another guy down here on the far end. It's like this long strip of street where I see these multiple people, and every once in a while you see this guy down here would kind of saunter this way, and then all of a sudden he would talk to one of the guys that I was watching. So Annie and I are watching this like a movie, okay, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Okay, so blue is talking to green. Okay, we're on to something. Of course, they're working in crews. They got phones. Every once in a while, they pull their phone out, they start doing something, and all of a sudden you see a cop car come easing its way down the street. Well, everybody splits up. Tourists are back, and they're weaving in and out. They sit down in a chair off to the side. Cops kind of go through, don't really pay any mind, and then back on the phone, and they're up and they're moving. Don't know what's going on. And then all of a sudden we see this guy in green. He's walking down this way, and he stops right in the middle. He's not sauntering, he stops. And this man and woman come down, and he kind of says something to him. The guy looks at him, and then they keep going. And he just still stands there. Another person passes. Nope. Finally, this one guy comes down, and he goes, he says something, and the guy kind of stops for a second, quick conversation, guy keeps moving. Okay? Now, of course, some of you are saying this, undercover police. That's what I thought too. No. Or is it? So this goes on for a while, and at one point we see one guy leave. Oh, and he moved with a sense of urgency. He moved with a purpose, so he takes off. And then I think, well, is this guy following somebody? Ooh, I don't know about that one. It's hard to tell. And we keep watching these people. And it's like there was this organized dance of one of them would sit in this chair, another one would get up and saunter in the middle. And then one would move down here to the right, one would move down to the left. And it was like this constant dance, this choreography that was going on. I said, what kind of nonsense is going on? I said, I have to know. And Annie's like, you're not going down there. And I said, I know. I don't, they're not pickpockets. They're not touching anybody. Like, but there's some kind of something going on. We watched this for about 2.5 hours. And by now it's dark. Okay, but plenty of lights. You can still see what's going on. And finally, Annie goes, I gotta know. And I was like, do it for the story. And I was up. I gotta know. So I grabbed my phone and I was like, hey, get your phone on, get your sounds on. It's time. I have to know what's going on down there. So I go downstairs. I get down to the bottom of the hotel. I text her, okay, I'm exiting the hotel. I'm moving left. Let me know when you pick me up. So she says, roger that. So I move, I come out the hotel, and there's a little construction area right in front of the hotel. So I got some cover. So I start moving down to the left. I take the long way around through a couple other little shops and restaurants. And then I make my way down, and I am literally, whoosh, I am in the movie. Here we go. She says, I see you. Cool. So she says to me before I leave, she's like, look, you can't look intimidating. I'm like, what do you mean intimidating? She's like, when you walk around like you don't want anybody to F with you. I'm like, exactly. She's like, you can't do that. You have to be like inviting. Like, okay. All right, I guess I need to be inviting. So I put on my inviting face. And I just kind of start walking. And I'm looking at the shop. And I just keep walking. Well, then all of a sudden, in these waves of people, tourists and locals, and mostly tourists, I spot one of the guys. I spot baseball cap. And now it's weird because we've been watching these cats for hours. And now I'm on the ground with them. I'm like, oh, there's baseball cap. But I can't make it too obvious, right? So I just kind of like, do-do-do. And I got my phone out. And I'm well aware that at any point, somebody can just run by and grab my phone. But I'm going to be honest with you. I hope somebody grabs my phone. I have been waiting to launch these tree trunks of justice for so long. So I'm kind of like using my phone like this. Way out here. Oh, look, I just barely hanging on to it. Yep. So anyway, I see baseball cap, and he kind of moves over here, and he comes by me, and he just doesn't see me. So I got to keep walking. I can't be like, hey, what you got? Because another thing that we noticed from the balcony was that all of them kind of had something in their hands that they were kind of toying with. I couldn't tell what it was, but they all had something. So I was like, okay, what's that? And then I see baseball cap, and he's got something in his hands, but just keep walking. And then I see blue, and blue passes by me, doesn't say anything. And I see green. Okay, green, that's my chance, okay? I keep walking, nothing. Damn it. Okay, I need to seem more inviting. So I pull up my t-shirt, I tie it in a knot, and I push back my shirt. I'm totally kidding. I didn't do that. I get to the other end, and now, okay, I need a reason to walk back through. Otherwise, I'm going to be too obvious. So I kind of play with my phone. I'm looking at my watch. I'm looking down this one street like I'm waiting for somebody. You know, hands in my pockets. I'm kind of waiting. I give it like 5 or 6 minutes. And now since I'm on the other end of the street, I text back Annie and I'm like, hey, can you still see me? And she goes, oh, Janice distracted me. I lost you. Where are you? Come on, man. You had one job. She's like, oh, okay, there you are. I see you. I can see your shoulders from space. She didn't say that. I just added that part for flavor. But okay, finally she picks me up and I start walking back. Well, finally, this guy kind of leans over and he's not one of the usual suspects. He's not one of the dudes that we spotted from the balcony. Totally different guy. He looks at me as I walk by and he goes, all good, boss? Yep. He's like, you need anything? I said, nope, I'm good. And I walked and I was like, okay, well, that's That's something. Okay. That kind of tells me he's got some stuff. Now, that could be anything. Could be ketchup fries. Could be ketchup toast. Maybe he's got some sequin pants. I don't know. He says, you need anything? I said, no, I'm good. And I keep walking. And then Green goes, he starts walking next to me. And he spits out this list of things. He's like, hey, man. He basically goes, smoke, crack, weed, and starts like this laundry list of drugs. And I'm like, no, I'm good, man, thanks. And I keep walking. And then I keep going. And then here comes Baseball Cap. Now I know Baseball Cap is he's one of the guys. Like I don't know if he's like a big dog, but he had multiple conversations with almost everybody on the block. And just the way he carried himself, I knew he was like somebody. So Baseball Cap comes up to me and he says the same thing. He says, crack, smoke, and I don't want to say he said something like, girls or anything, but the list was pretty damn long. So it could have been anything. And I was like, nope, I'm good, man, thanks. I said, you sure? And now he's walking next to me. Said, I'm good, bro, thanks. And he peels off. And I keep walking. And Annie is watching from the hotel. And she watches Baseball Cap talk to me, peel off, and then start to trail me. Now, I know he's there, but she starts to get nervous. Now, I'm going through the crowd, and there's not that many people now. It's about 10 p.m., 10:30 p.m., maybe a little later. He starts to kind of follow me over here. And then I come over here to the shop, and I'm looking there. Okay, I'm looking at that, I'm picking something up. I'm looking at it. Okay, great. And then once I turn around, Baseball Cap is right there. He goes, you sure you don't need anything? He's got this big smile on his face. I said, no, man, I'm good. I appreciate it. Okay. And he peeled off and started walking back the other way. Now, one thing I noticed about these cats that I had seen from the balcony is that every single one of them had an earbud in, a white iPod earbud. Every single one of them. So I would be an idiot to think that once he peels off and disappears from my view, that he's not talking to somebody else on an open line and says like, hey, follow this dude over here. I think he's a cop or something. Who knows? So I kind of peel around. I go around this little shop over here, and I go to this little restaurant, and I'm looking at the menu. And if you're watching me, if you're following me, it's pretty clear I'm not actually doing anything. I'm not buying anything. I'm not really super invested in anything. I'm not buying any coffee. I'm just kind of meandering. And by now, I've gone all the way down the middle of the street, and then all the way back. And I've gotten a few invitations from some friends. And this is the point where I realize, and I text Annie, I'm like, it's just drugs. She's like, that's what I thought. Okay, come home. I said, okay, well, give me some time. So now at this point, this is where I'm like, okay, I need to be smart about this. Because on surface level, it seems like they see me as a dumb tourist, dumb American tourist. They throw their usual thing out. I don't take the bait. And then out. But if it's something more than that, if they think I'm somebody that I'm not, or whatever the case might be, I need to make sure that I don't go straight back to the damn hotel where they know where I'm staying. So I kind of take this little route through a couple shots, through a couple restaurants, and eventually do this one thing where you can kind of know if anybody's following you. So I go through all that. And I'm clean, and I end up making it back to the hotel. Well, let me tell you, on the way back there was this one point where I crossed this alley, and the alley kind of empties out into Las Ramblas, where it's like a river delta, and it just opens up. I'm past this alley, and I'm not even kidding. It was like the working girls came out. like a parade of them. And it was like somebody set their clock and it was time. And as I walked by this, I went, holy shit. Kept going, finally make it around this corner, pass by this sign, hang out at this tree, and then boom. And then I'm in the hotel, kind of wait in the hotel a little bit, as if I'm on my phone. Okay, good. Yep, just a pit stop, clear. Okay, and then I make my way out to the room, and then that was that. So it's not the most climactic story, but that was my do it for the story for Barcelona. I had to know. And I wouldn't have done it until Annie was like, I have to know. You got to go down there. Yes, I'm not the only one who's crazy. Oh, it was so good. It was so satisfying to know. Because if we had left there and I didn't know what they were saying or doing, are they such good pickpockets that they can steal something without touching you? Maybe. I gotta know. Yeah, do it for the story, baby. Now, I will also say, I will echo somebody who said it in chat. Kids, don't try this at home. Don't be a dum-dum. Don't be a dum-dum like Roscoe. But sometimes you just gotta know.